everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this pick a card tarot reading on how to access and connect into the highest and strongest version of yourself. And I wanted to do a read on this subject because life is just so challenging at the moment for so many of us, and being able to tap into our highest and strongest version of ourselves as much as possible and often as possible is something that's really been called upon at this time. So in this read, I aim to help you find your own way to access this aspect of you so you can call upon it whenever you want and whenever you need it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through what we're going to cover in this read, and then I'll do the pile selection. So if you wanted to go straight to the pile selection, just click on the link to pile 1 in the comment section below and it'll take you straight to it, and then just go back 5 or 10 seconds and you'll have your pile selection ready to go. But if you want to stay with me and go over what we cover, well, let's go through it. So we're going to do a energy check with the pile selection. So this is the Indigo Oracle or Indigo Angel Oracle. This is the Seeker Oracle, and this is the Energy Oracle. And we'll be using the Eye of Horus tiles, which I just absolutely love, to help you select your piles as well. And at this point, I actually might say kudos to my partner. I'll move these aside. He actually made this backdrop, and he's a spray painter. It was all done with a spray gun. So it's absolutely got a bit of green there, you got a bit of blue, you got a bit of black, you got a bit of pearl. Absolutely looks amazing. So I just want to do a shout out to him. Hopefully it's not too glary. We've got a coat of gloss over the top. So let's see how that works out, but hopefully it's not so glary for you. So what we're going to cover is we're going to have a look at what does living your life as the highest and strongest version of yourself look like. So that's the one that I'm most interested to see how that comes out. And we'll also see what message your highest and strongest version of yourself has for you. And then we'll have a look at how you can best access and connect into the highest and strongest version of yourself. And then we'll look at what step you can do today to do that and get you closer to living your highest and strongest version of yourself. So you'll have some tools and tips and ideas on how you can actually access that and get good at getting there straight away, accessing it straight away in the moment when you need it. And then we'll have a look at some future energies along the path of the connection to your higher self and establish that connection on a permanent basis or as you need it in the moment basis. Those future energies are usually 1 to 2 months in the future, but we'll just see what cards come out. And then we'll close off the reading with some channel messages. So first off, let's just do the energies. This is the energy check and the pile selection for pile 1. And this is using the Indigo Angel Oracle cards. So just to set energy check, just your current situation to let you know that you've picked the right pile. What's going on for pile 1? What's going on in the life of pile 1? Energy check, and you don't want to see that, and I don't want to see that either. And we'll do an underlying as well. So that will be pile 1, and it come out in that orientation. So let's just move that over there for now. And pile 2 is the Seeker Oracle. Oh, awesome shuffle. Check that one out. Okay. Crappy shuffle. Let's just do one more. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do an energy check. What's going on in the life of pile 2? Just to let you know you've chosen the right pile. Oh, and that come out, and that will be the underlying. Put that on top. And for pile 3, Energy Oracle. I love this deck. Just have a very strong affinity to it. And there we go. It's virtually. All right, so what's going on in the life of pile 3? Energy check for pile 3. And, oh, you know what? I'm going to take them, and I'm going to take them exactly that way, and the underline can be like that. Because I do read them every which way. So let's just pick them up as they are. And I'll just put on there just to hold them down. The tile will hold them down. Okay, so let's just check that these are in shot. That's perfect. So now let's do a further energy check and get my cat hair off the table. Using the Egyptian tiles. This is the Eye of Horus Egyptian tiles, and these do get a little bit loud. I have listened to them back and they get a little bit loud, so sorry about that. Okay, so now pile 1. Further energy check for pile 1. And that's it there. Okay. I'm not going to say what it is yet. That was that way. Just going to be selecting by the symbol itself. Okay. Energy check for pile 2. That's that one. Awesome one. Probably should have said that. And pile 3 straight there. Pretty strong energies. Okay. And I'll put that there to weight it down. There we go. All right. Okay. So go ahead and choose your pile. If you want to choose pile 1, that's the Indigo Angel Oracle deck with that tile. If you want to choose pile 2, that's the Seeker Oracle with that tile. And if you want to choose pile 3, that's the Energy Oracle with that tile. Beautiful. So go ahead and pick your pile and click on the timestamp below in the comment section. It'll take you straight there, and I will see you in your read. Thank you. Bye. Hey, pile 1. Welcome to your read. And if you chose this pile, you chose the Indigo Angel Oracle deck with this tile, which is called, and I never say this right, I don't think, 𝓦𝓔𝓛𝓒𝓞𝓜�, don't know how to say it, but basically that's a snake reversed. So what I'll do before I get into that, I'm just going to do a clearing and just set your intention for the read and just have a think about what you hear in your current situation to help you with your pile selection, because we're doing an energy check in a second. And I'll just light this candle. Got a slight breeze, but that's all right. Okay, take a deep breath in and out. Okay. I'm going to set my own intention for this read to give you the most accurate information possible. Okay. All right. So 𝓦𝓔𝓛𝓒𝓞𝓜�, the snake, let's just say reversed. This is all about, and it feels like something that's happened in the past where there might have been a divine intervention, or something had happened where you had a run-in with someone and where that person really didn't act with integrity. They weren't really nice to you. Maybe they've done you wrong in some way, shape or form. But this tile is actually calling for forgiveness and to be the bigger person. And that doesn't necessarily mean you actually forgive them to the face, because some people can't take forgiveness very well. They see it as condoning their actions. It can be just forgiving them within yourself or within your own mind, or forgiving the internal representation of them who presents himself in your mind, forgiving that, or forgiving their higher self for what they've done. You have an ability to look deep into their intentions, and maybe you know a little bit about their past and you go, you know what, I understand why they are the way they are, or why they've become the way they are. They're probably doing it as a defense mechanism or just a coping mechanism. It doesn't condone their actions, but you have a deep understanding of why. And that understanding is the step right before forgiveness. So if you're having trouble forgiving them, just go, you know what? Oh, what was it? Jesus said on the cross, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, or something like that. They aren't, especially when they're operating from a limiting belief system or their ego, they're not in control. They don't know what they're doing. They're just acting out of fear usually, and just out of a protection mechanism. So this is calling for forgiveness, but at the same time, even though you forgive them, you understand where they're coming from, you know what they're doing, why they did what they did, doesn't mean you can't set very firm boundaries. So if this is someone you want to keep in your life, this is also calling for not just forgiveness, but setting firm boundaries with that person so they don't repeat this behavior. Let them know where they stand and where you stand within the relationship, but doing it from a place of mutual respect and honesty and looking for the win-win in this as well. So also when you do that forgiveness, it's sort of like a cutting cord exercise, or it just removes the energy. It can actually heal the karmic wound between you two, especially if there's past lives that you've had together. So what that is going to do is actually open up the pathways in your future moving forward, so you can actually create without having that burden weigh you down of that karmic tie with that person. You forgive someone, you set them free, and you set yourself free. And the past is gone, past is forgiven. Now you can move forward feeling stronger, because forgiveness is not a weakness, it's a strength. Saying, I forgive you, don't do it again, but I forgive you, I get it. It just releases you, it lightens your load so you can move forward and clears your path, because you don't have the burden of that in your future anymore, and you can move forward. So I feel I've said enough for that one to let you know, but I'll also do a further energy check with the Indigo Oracle Angel, and that's ask for a sign. I think I said that wrong. Indigo Angel Oracle. Okay, and that's in what I call the initial phase. So I would say perhaps this could be calling for you to ask us for a sign. Maybe you've actually already recently done an exercise where you've maybe written down what you want, done a letter to God, or just sat there and just said, this is what I want. Maybe you've asked, how can I move forward? And this sign is, this is the answer to that sign. Forgive them. That's how you move forward. So this is either, if you haven't asked for a sign, it's actually calling you for just talk to the universe and say, this is what I want. Give me evidence of or information on how to move forward, or evidence of what I've been desiring. Ask for some sort of sign, some sort of synchronistic sign from the universe to achieve what you want to achieve. Or you've only recently just done that, because this is in the initial phase. Okay, and underlying that is time to create. And that's actually tying in perfectly. I might actually move, no, I want that on that side. There. And ask for a sign there. That ties in perfectly with what I was saying before. You asking for a sign. An example of that is I am asking for a sign on how to move forward. The sign is this tile here, saying forgive that person, set strong boundaries, and then that is how you move forward. And then when you move forward, you can start creating your life anew from a new perspective, a new vantage point, a new energetic standpoint from which to create your new life without that burden. So I think I said enough. I'll just tune in just to see if there's anything else maybe you might need to hear to let you know this is your pile. So just give me a sec. I feel I need to tune in. Okay. Practice the pause. This is a moment for inner contemplation where you go within and you think, what sort of boundaries do I want to create? Do I want to keep this person in my life? Do I want to keep this situation in my life? Are there limiting belief systems that need to be cleared moving forward? Any questions that you need to ask, get into that silent moment and let anything come through that needs to come through. But practice a pause, really think about it, and make sure that what you're doing moving forward is for the win-win. Even for the person that's done something wrong, it needs to be a win for them. But, it can be a win for them when you're setting boundaries, because sometimes that's all they need to hear. Because sometimes people just don't set boundaries. They don't tell people, put people in their place. So how do they know if they don't get put in their place? And you need to do that moving forward. So take a little bit of time out just to sort of think this through about how you're going to move forward, or how you're going to either make the break or set the boundaries or forgive them. Take some time to really think that. Okay, that's it. That's done. But moving forward, that is going to open up. And perhaps the sign has come through where this is already done and you're feeling the urge to move forward, and you're feeling the urge to do something creative. That's where you need to go. Follow that urge. Okay. So hopefully if you've selected this pile, and this is a pile for you. Let's move forward. And we'll have a look at the Light Worker Oracle and ask this deck and ask the cards, what does living your life as your highest and strongest version of you look like? What does it look like? What will your life look like when you're living that aspect of you? What will you look like when you're living that full aspect of you? What will it look like? It will look awesome, I would say. So what does living your life as your highest and strongest self look like? And this is a Light Worker Oracle. There it is. Okay. Sixth ray of devotion. Okay. And I'll just put that there and underline. There's a couple that fell out. Okay, I'm going to take these. They fell out onto the floor. You didn't see them, but they fell out on the floor. Initiation by water, which is sort of emotions. Definitely. I'm going to put that there. And Dark Angel. Okay. And that's tying in perfectly with what we're saying. That's what I want to keep it. Okay. And I'll just sort of tuck that under there a little bit, so you get to see everything. And underlying that is unplugging from mass consciousness. Okay, so I just want to actually just quickly get some clarification on sixth ray of devotion. It's you know, what are you devoted to? And that is a Light Worker Oracle. Where is that? Here it is. Okay, and that's 43. Because it's sort of, what are you devoted to? And I would say it's, you know, are you devoted to yourself? I'll read it first. Okay, hang on. Oh, it's number 43, not page 43. Let's go. Okay. Probably won't read the whole thing. I'll just read this bit here. Okay, the sixth ray of devotion bestows the qualities of persistence, unwavering focus, and intensity of feeling, especially when you've got initiation by water here. It is a gift of the strength to move mountains with your will for what you love. When the sixth ray of devotion appears, you have been given the guidance that even if you do not seem to have the worldly power right now, the power of your beliefs can conquer obstacles. Archangel Uriel helps you receive the blessings of the sixth ray now. Okay, so it's more of a devoting to the cause, devoting to your why you're doing this. And looking at all this, it feels like, and it certainly looks like here, there's a lot of unconscious energy that has instigated and been the catalyst for this awakening. And it's something, so this person has really hurt you, has actually really hurt you deeply. However, it just feels like that this was meant to happen. This was divine intervention designed to wake you up, designed to question everything, designed to question people and the motives of people. Perhaps you've thought, well, I want to understand people better. Like, why do people do this? Why do people get, you know, so deep and so dark and so angry and so vindictive that they want to hurt people, especially people like you? And I have a feeling that you're the sort of person that you see deeply into people, you understand people, but you don't let on that you do. You're actually very, very powerful. However, this moving through this, prior to this, perhaps you weren't connected in with your power. You didn't feel very powerful. Perhaps you felt like you were abused, or you were taken advantage of by a lot of people. But what this situation is doing, it's actually calling on your power. It's calling you to, or almost forcing you in a way, to find your power in order to move through this. It does feel like the incident, whatever it is, has happened. It's not anything that's going to happen. You've done it. You've gone through it. You've moved through it. But now you're actually learning from it, but you're gaining power in a very powerful way. So even though this was a really horrible situation to move through, they hurt you deeply. There would have been a hell of a lot of tears over this. You've been crying a lot about it, but it's actually made you think, you know what? stuff everyone else. I don't care. I need to do me now. I need to devote my life to me, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay to choose you first. And perhaps there's a lot of energy of sort of going into hermit mode in this read as well, especially with that one there and that one there. Initiation by water, that's generally what you do when you ask for a sign. You do it when you're on your own. So there's a lot of energy where you've had a lot of time to yourself to think and contemplate about the kind of person you really want to be. So that's probably actually what drew you to this reading, and the title of this reading of how to connect in with the highest and strongest version of self. You're already doing it. This situation with this person, and it could be, on a side note as well, it could be what you're seeing going on in a mass level, a mass unconsciousness level, and you just want to sort of step away from that and just, go out into the bush for a couple of months, couple of weeks, and just really recenter yourself and find out who you are, because you've realized now who you're not by going through this situation. I'm not a weak person, you say to yourself. I'm not the person who can get taken advantage of. I'm someone who is strong. I'm stronger than them. I'm not weak. They tried to make me believe I was weak, but I'm not. I'm strong. I can go through more stuff that they could even contemplate going through. And they're the weak ones. That's why they needed to manipulate you. But what you've done is you've actually stepped into your power by moving through this and setting clear boundaries with this person. I feel it's more about one person that's done this to you, or one relationship. It says unplugged from mass consciousness, but it feels that's an underlying energy. That's this situation with this person has been the catalyst for. So you've had a situation where someone's just hurt you really, really badly, but it has been the catalyst to open you up to your own power and help you find your own power and actually play with your own power and find out who you really are in this lifetime. So living your life as the highest, strongest version of you, it looks like you doing you and choosing you first and devoting your life to you, and to setting boundaries, and to being strong, and to being powerful, and to being someone who is not manipulated, or not able to be manipulated at all. You've gone through the worst and you've come out of it, and you'll come out of it stronger. And you have come out of it stronger, whether you realize it or not, you have. So living your life as that person is you going, you know what? The mass consciousness doesn't affect me. I'm in my own power. I stand in my own power, and I'm devoted to my own power and my own cause. And there's nothing wrong with that, because when you do that, and when you are the highest and strongest version of yourself, it is a win-win for the universe, because these unconscious energies, they need to know that their behavior is not okay. How else can they change? You need to be a catalyst for them to change. You need to move through this world as the strongest, highest version of yourself, so you can tell other people how it's done. So, yeah, this highest, strongest version of self is someone who is not affected by mass consciousness whatsoever, devoted to whatever cause that you want, the win-win cause. Maybe you're looking to help humanity in some way. So you possibly, by what you're creating, you might create art, whatever it is that you're creating will be for the win-win, because you're operating from the highest, strongest version of yourself. So you're going to be 100% devoted to that. It'll be in a sense of an unwavering devotion towards what you want to do, in a space of mass consciousness can't even affect you. You're completely detached from the unconsciousness of this world, and you're operating 100% from your higher self. That's how living your life from your highest and strongest version of yourself looks like. Nothing can affect you moving forward. Okay, so let's have a look at what message this highest and strongest version of yourself has for you. And this is called the Mystical Wisdom deck. What's a message that your highest and strongest version of yourself has for you? And after that, we'll have a look at how you can get closer to it. But what message does this aspect of yourself have for you? This aspect of yourself is 100% devoted to who you really are, and just untouchable, unwavering, very powerful, very strong, sets clear boundaries. What's that aspect of you has to say to you now. Just breathe into that aspect of yourself right now. Maybe it has a message coming through before the cards. Maybe it might take a while for the message to come through. Normally the cards come out by now. This is interesting. What message does your highest and strongest version of you have for you right now? For pile 1. I don't think I've ever taken this long to have a card come out. Interesting. Feel free to fast forward. Oh, come on. There it is. There it is. Okay. Battle of the Blues. Take steps towards positive change. Okay. And I will be in a couple of decks' time looking at what you can do today to get you closer. So we'll have a look at that. I might actually... Oh, no. I'll do the next one. Okay. Don't mind me. Dragonfly. Live life to the fullest. Okay. Let's put that there. So I would say that this is a message that this aspect of yourself has for you. This is a time that you've been sad about this for a very long time, because this is in what I call the completion phase. It's been in the energy of battling the blues for quite a while. It's time now to look for positive change. And the way through that is through forgiveness. Live life to the fullest. And that's right next to time to create. So just if you have a hobby, do that. Give yourself permission to take some time out to do that hobby and create, because that's how you create your connection to the universe, to your higher self, to your source, to your guides. Get into that creative mode, and that will help you, whatever it is that you're wanting to create, that will help you get out of this this slump that you're in. You've been sad about this for long enough. You don't need to be sad about this anymore. Ask yourself, what would my higher self do? What would my strongest version of myself do right now? What would it say for me? And it really felt like, because this is all about practicing the pause, and that took a very long time to come out, to come out of the deck. So take some time out just to do you and prioritize you, and devote half an hour just to you, just to making positive change. To say, in the next half an hour, I intend to do everything and think every thought with regards to creating a positive change, only towards positivity. And don't even entertain any thoughts about what happened. It probably would be best to steer clear of the subject of this other person entirely, and just think of, how do I want my life to look? How do I want to live now? How does that look? What does feeling good feel like? Let's do that. Let's do something positive. Just devote it half an hour, whatever it is, just to doing that, just to living life to the fullest, just to do something that makes you feel really good, that makes your heart sing, what makes your spirit soar. It is leaning very much towards creating something. So maybe even just coloring in or drawing or something like that. Working with your garden, playing with your pets, whatever it is that makes you feel good. This is what is the message, or the main message from your higher self and your strongest version of yourself is telling you. So I'm just actually going to go straight now to how you can best access and connect into your highest, strongest version of yourself, so you can get the messages for yourself. And this is the Mythic Tarot. How you can best access and connect into. So when you know how to access and connect in, and then you do it, then you can do it anytime you want. And you can connect into yourself anytime, this highest, strongest version of yourself, anytime you want. See that come out straight away. The Magician, perfect. Almost in the completion phase. Let's move that over there. And the King of Pentacles, perfect. That is two, and I'll just get the underlying. Two of Swords reversed. Okay, so how you can best access this. So this can mean several different things. With the King of Pentacles, I'll start there. That can mean just creating things that you feel is worthy or of worth. A creative project like a piece of artwork or something like that with the intent to sell it maybe. Or maybe you're into real estate, you're wanting to sort of dabble in real estate. It looks like how I'm seeing, especially with the Magician and everything else here with the Two of Swords reversed, let the universe make the decision for you. With the Two of Swords reversed, like the Two of Swords upright is all about indecision. How I read the Two of Swords when it's in the reversal is the decision gets made for you. And especially a bit for your benefit. So this is about how you can best access the strongest version of yourself. Look at where the universe is guiding you and making decisions for you. If you're getting pushed in a certain direction, even if it means you're getting pushed by someone, oh, this is melting onto my, okay, that should be okay. I'll just move that out though. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so even if the way you're being pushed is via this other person who hasn't been very nice, it's the universe pushing you in that direction and making you make the decision to either leave them, set boundaries, or determine who it is that you want to be. So it feels like the decision's already been made for you. But how you can best access that is to start creating on a material level in a very powerful way. So have a look at a long-term goal, a long-term investment. Perhaps this new version of you owns a house and you want to pay off your debts or start saving up to create a deposit for the house or whatever it is, start planning for it. So start seriously planning for something long term. Who I want to be in 10 years time from now. Have a look at that. So that is how you can best access the highest and strongest version of yourself, because that is also the future version of yourself. Start creating that. Start creating something of value. Start being of something of value. Perhaps what you want to do is create a new body. That means so maybe you have a goal to lose a bit of weight, maybe even gain a bit of weight, or you have a goal to grow your hair long, or whatever it is to beautify yourself somehow. So this is like you've been forced into this situation. The universe has moved you into this situation, but for your betterment, so you can actually be this highest and strongest version of yourself. So have a look at the long-term goals of things that are of value to you, things that you can create in the long term. That is a really good way to access this highest and strongest version of yourself. Okay, so let's have a look now using the Tarot of Dreams deck as what step you can do today. What you can do today before you go to bed, or if you're watching this at night, in the next 24 hours, that it can get you closer to living this highest and strongest version of yourself. So what can you do today or within the next 24 hours to access this highest, strongest version of yourself? So we've got, and this is coming out, and I was going to put it right here by initiation by water. King of Cups coming out of the reversal. This is a very, very strong message, and the Three of Cups reversed. Okay. Very, very strong message of get yourself out of this emotional slump that you're in. Just making sure that this is in shot. Not quite. Let's move that up a little bit. Okay. I can move up a little bit more. Okay. So perhaps you have, I'll say this as well. If there's anyone who, because this is what step you can do today. If you've been someone who feels like you need to have quite a few drinks, or you've been leaning on drugs or even medicinal drugs to help you get this could be antidepressants, a combination of that. What step you can do today to get yourself to the highest, strongest version of yourself. Perhaps say, I'm not going to drink today, or I'm going to take only half of my antidepressant rather than a whole one. It's to get yourself out of that emotional slump. I'm just going to tune in to this. This feels strong. It's a very powerful step. So I'm just going to tune in. Just one sec. It has a lot of energy around it. So just one second. Oh, I've chipped my nail polish. Yeah. I'm going to get a clarifier, and I'm going to use the Gateway Oracle cards just to clarify this. Because this, whatever, because this can lead, this can talk about partying too hard, substance abuse, things like that, escapism. So I'm just going to get a clarifier for this. So this is about what you can do today, because it's really, really important. There it is, and this is reversed. Revealing radiance. It's coming out of the reversal, just like the King of Cups. My light illuminates the world. Yeah, so let's just move that because I want that next to here like that. And take action. Yeah, perfect. I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless possibilities. That was a mouthful. And I just, because I'm anal like this, I want this to be like that. Okay. So take a serious action step towards, because whatever, and like this is sort of like an overindulging to mask emotional hurt. There's something that you're doing. It might not be substance abuse. It might be you're spending a lot of money on stuff or retail therapy. It does speak strongly to addictions, especially with the King of Cups reversed. There's a hell of a lot of pain there. You can take a step today to, because when you do overindulge in that way, you have a few cones, have a few way too many drinks, antidepressants, those things that help dull the emotional pain, they are also dulling your light. And what you want to do, and your light is where you access your highest and strongest version of yourself. So what you can do today, and trust me, I've been there. I've had problems with alcohol myself, and I've indulged, and I used that as an escapism. Wherever I felt bad, every day I would drink, and it numbed me. But the moment I took steps toward, like even if it's just one little step towards detaching from that belief that I had to do that to escape or to cope. And then I remember the moment that I decided to stop that, it was huge resistance. It's not going to be easy to detach yourself, especially when you make the decision to do it. That part of you that feels scared and feels like this is the only way to survive in this world, it's going to arc up and it's going to create a lot of resistance. So what you can do today is just take one step, research something. And for you, it may not be that bad. It may not be something that, like, make the decision to stop doing it. Like, really make the decision to stop doing it, and then feel how much resistance you feel towards stopping that. Like, say if you're drinking every day, it's like, I don't want to drink every day. I'm going to actually stop this. I'm going to commit to not doing this and getting my life back on track. See how much resistance you get. If you get a shitload of resistance, then this is something that's going to take a while. If you only get a little bit of resistance, then this might not take very much, and you go, oh, I can do this. I can do this. Quitting smoking is another example of that. Done that before as well. So there's something that you're doing that you feel that you can't do without, and it's helping to numb the pain. But what this whole reading is saying, especially what you can do today to get you closer to living that higher, stronger version of yourself, is take steps towards eliminating this from your life. Perhaps this energy in your life that is causing the problems is this. It could be an addiction. It could be a drinking addiction, smoking addiction to spending a lot of money or gambling or whatever it is. It could be that. It might not actually be a person who's done this. It could be something that you're dealing with on this level. So what you can do today is take one action step. So I know when I would drink, what I would do when I was taking action steps, when I took a drink, I focused 100% on the act of drinking itself rather than where my mind wanted to take me. So I felt the liquid go down my throat and into and how it tasted, and I was completely present with the act of drinking itself, or completely present with the act of smoking itself. When I did that, instead of having 20 drinks in the night, I had like, 5 or 10. It almost halved it immediately when I was present with what I was doing. That can be an action step you can take now moving forward. So take one action step today to moving forward away from this addictive behavior. And that is how you can get closer to living your highest, strongest version of yourself. It's going to make you stronger within yourself. So it's going to make you stronger with anyone else who wants to take advantage of you. And it'll just get you closer to living that highest and strongest version of yourself. An action step every day will get you closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. Okay. So now let's have a look at the future energies along this path of connection to your higher your higher, strongest self. And you can't really see this in the shot, but I don't have any space to, or maybe I can do it here. Oh, okay. No, I just showed you a really bad shuffle. Okay. That's a bit better. All right. So the future energies about over the next 1 to 2 months along your pathway to becoming this highest, strongest version of yourself. There it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So that is the sun coming into the reversal. Success, recognition, and enthusiasm. And I will have to shuffle them around. Magician coming into the reversal as well. Manifestation, empowerment, and I've got magician there, preparedness. Okay, so this might be harder to move through than you think. So that's why I was really feeling, and I've got an underlying I want to find the space for pentacles. Okay, frugalness, extravagance, and control. All right. So this is something that is going to take a while to move through. Okay, I just want to make sure that this is all in shot. Okay. So perhaps that what you're going to be focusing on in the next 1 to 2 months is this here. That's why it had a lot of energy to get you. It's really important that you do this. It is really important because this is something that is having its way with you, it's just really, really upsetting you. So you need to take action to remove the thing that first is blocking the negative feelings, because you need to feel them and you need to see them and see them for what they really are in order to deal with them and move on. So it feels like it might take, another couple of months. If I were to do some more cards over the next 6 months, I think it'd be a lot different. But what this reading is really calling on is to just take some time out. The Four of Swords, take some time out. You've got taking some time out there. You've got taking some time out all over this reading. Ask for a sign, ask for more information, connect in with this highest version of yourself. Start developing a relationship with that highest version of yourself. Call upon it and bring it through. And then every day, what can I do today to get myself closer to that highest version of myself? How does living the highest version of myself and the strongest version of myself look like to me? And stay there as much as possible. That will help you pull yourself towards being that person. Create, do your hobbies, spend some time doing that. Devote your life to you. And that has come through very strongly as well. So I'm just going to go into channeling just to close off this reading. It's already been long enough, but just 1 second. This is going to take a while. It's very, very hard energies to move through. It's like walking through sludge, but you can do it. And what will emerge at the other side of this is that lotus flower that emerges out of the mud. This is really, really tough energies, but it's going to make you tough and as a result of moving through them. And you've already begun that. Just commit to you. Commit to healing. Commit to this highest, strongest version of yourself. Commit to developing a relationship with that. making that clear in your mind, how that person, how that you looks, how that future you looks, developing a relationship with that and devoting your life to that. That comes first before anyone and anything. That comes first. Maybe create a ritual every morning to doing just that. I'm going to spend even just 5-10 minutes just thinking about what life will be like once you've stepped 100% into that power and into that strength and into that highest version of yourself, and what your life around you looks like when you're living that life. Every day, take a step towards that. In the morning, get yourself into that zone. Spend 5 or 10 minutes just thinking about that. Once you've spent 5 or 10 minutes just thinking about that, you're there. And once you're there from that space, ask, what can I do today to get myself closer to that? And an answer will come through. Ask for a sign every day to get yourself closer to that. And you might find yourself taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but you're still always 1 step forward. Remember that. If you take this, what is that saying? Action has magic and grace in it, and you've got magic and magic there. So that action step towards the healthiest version of you, the version of you that is of great value, taking that action step gets you closer. It makes you feel like you're actually getting there. It makes you feel like you're in forward movement. You're not stagnant. You're actually moving forward. Even though you're moving through what feels like emotional sludge, you're moving through it, and you're getting closer and closer and closer to this you that is a part of you. It's already a part of you. It's wanting to come out. It's wanting to emerge. And this is how you do it. Take some time out. Do you devote yourself to living life to the fullest? Devote yourself to living life as doing things that make you feel good in a state of creation and appreciation. Get a hobby. It doesn't have to have anything to do with anyone else. Remember to set boundaries with people and say no, but forgive them as well. That's a very, very big part. So that's another thing that will help you get closer to yourself, because when you forgive them, you set them free and you set yourself free. Then you'll have space and time to actually really devote to yourself. Because right now you've devoted too much time to this other person, or too much time to this energy here. Now it's time to devote all that energy to you and to your happiness and to your ultimate happiness and to the ultimate, highest, strongest version of yourself, and achieving that and taking steps towards it. Okay, so I'll just see if there's anything else. Oh. No, you can do it. It's easier than you think. You've just got to take those steps. Success breeds success. You take a step and it works, you're going to go, oh, I did it and it worked. Take another step. The pathway to success is paved with just a lot of little steps. It may not feel very significant to have 1 less drink or 1 less cigarette, but you've taken a step and you did it. You did it, and you're closer now than you were the day before. Okay. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really hope this helped. If it did, please just put a comment in the comment section below. And the feedback is just 100% welcome. If you want me to do another read on this subject, or on this subject that is relevant to your life, I can do a pick a card on that. Just put that in the comments below and I'll absolutely do that for you. But thank you again for letting me join you and join in with your energy. I love you so much. You just got an amazing energy. You just got such a deep soul that's just wanting to come out and just loves you so much. But yeah, until I do my next read, I need to take a break. This is just intense energy. This is so important. So important. Watch it again if you need to, but so important. Okay, until I do my next read, though, I'll say goodbye and thank you. Okay, bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your read. And if you chose this read, you chose the Sphinx. And you also chose the Seeker Oracle deck. So I'm just going to do a clearing while I introduce this tile. Get my lighter. The Sphinx is, if you're into tarot, very highly linked to the High Priestess, the keeper of mysteries and secrets, and also something, this is not lighting. if it's representing you as a person, someone who is very good and honest and very good at keeping secrets. So let's just see if I can light this without it going out. Perfect. And also it's a relationship or a friendship that can pass the test of time. So I'll just do a clearing, take a deep breath in and out. Okay. All right. Setting your intention for the read today. Okay. So to speak a little bit more on the Sphinx here, this is an energy that is also speaking to being okay with not knowing, or being okay with not being able to control or know everything, all the secrets about a certain situation or a person or how things are going to turn out, and trusting the universe and trusting in the universal timing. An example of this would be a tarot reader who does a gazillion reads on wanting to know how something's going to turn out and not getting any information because the universe isn't ready for you to know just yet. I think there's a bit of a waiting period. It is said that I think under the left paw of the Sphinx, there's a hidden chamber with information about how we can evolve into a new species and how it is going to be in the golden age and how we are going to be as humanity moving forward. So there is secrets, and they've been there. The Sphinx has been there for centuries. It's been there for a very, very, very long time. No one really knows who created it. I believe it was a lion, not a dog. But anyway, this is about trusting that things happen in divine timing, letting go of the timing, letting go of knowing about how it's going to turn out, about what you need to do, and just allowing the mysteries of the universe to unfold. It feels like this is an energy or a situation that has been going on for a very long time, or it is something that's going to take a while for it to manifest or for information to come through. So getting into the present moment, getting into that state of no time, that present state where just being in that moment is all that matters, and all that is what you want in that moment, and you're not striving for the future. So it's strongly calling you on just trusting the universe, okay, and letting go of the control. Okay, so from the Secret Oracle, we've got Heed the Vibes with the scorpion on there in the initial phase. So I would say this is, you've just recently received some negative vibes on a certain situation, and perhaps that's a situation that you're wanting to either control or get more information on. And let's have a look at the underlying. Set it free. Okay. And that's underlying. So I would say, let's put that there. I can put some stuff in between. Possibly a way to read this is there's been a situation or a relationship or some sort of dynamic or something at work, or doesn't really matter what matters to you, where you've been getting some vibes that things aren't all as they seem, or they're not quite right. And perhaps you're thinking maybe this won't last. Maybe you've been hearing whispers at work about the future of the company or the future of your role, or there's going to be a reshuffling or something like that, or you're just sensing some unsettledness within that dynamic or within a relationship. Another example of that might be, you have a pet who is starting to, show its age, and you're thinking, or even a loved one that's starting to show their age, and you're starting to sort of really sense that maybe the time might be up soon and you might have to set it free soon. So, and it could be related to anything. I think that alone would be enough to let you know that you've picked the right read. It just feels like that you're going to have to set something free soon. You don't know why or how it's going to manifest. But what this is calling for is just to allow, and you sort of, I guess, have to just allow the universe to let you know when it's time to take the next step, or when it's time for you to know the why, or when it's time for it to happen. But you're starting to get the heads up that something is going to either end, or you're going to have to set something free. It could also be a belief system, or a way of being or an aspect within yourself. You're feeling that you're starting to shift yourself, but you don't know quite why that is. It just feels like you're in a transition period, but you just don't know. You haven't got any of the answers. You don't have control over the situation, but you're sensing into something. Okay, so let's have a look now. And hopefully that's enough to let you know that you picked the right pile. If not, maybe you can just sort of listen in for a little bit longer. It might help. So this is the Lightworker Oracle. And this is, what does living your life as your strongest, highest version of yourself look like? What do you look like when you're living that life? Even if you were living that life now, what would that look like? Okay. The strongest, highest version of yourself. What does that look like? Especially when it comes to this situation and dealing with it and being okay with not knowing. There it is. Okay, and it is reversed wisdom of the divine feminine. Okay, let's put that there. And I'll put that way. Messages and the numbers. Funny. Okay, this is a very spiritual read, I would say. And of course, you know, living your life as your highest and strongest version of yourself is connecting in with that highest version of yourself. So there's a very strong message of synchronicity here and balancing out the feminine and the masculine. So this is wisdom of the divine feminine, and it is reversed. So the highest, I'm going to get some clarification. I'm going to use the Crystal Visions Tarot. I just want to get some clarification as to the reversal of that. It's very mysterious. This reading is very mysterious. I wouldn't be surprised if I get, the High Priestess. Okay, there we go, trouble. Okay, it's sort of, oh, that's straight out. Four of Wands, straight out. Okay, and I'll just tuck that under there, and I'll get an underlying as well. Knight of Swords. Okay. Let's put that there. All right. So very fast moving action. Four of the Wands in itself and the Knight of Swords. Very fast moving action. The Four of Wands. In this deck, it's actually talking about divine union. So I would say perhaps it is either a divine union within yourself, or especially when you're talking about the highest and strongest version of yourself, sort of a divine marriage of balancing out the masculine and the feminine. Very strong message of that. 1111, it's number 11 as well. That is basically of end times revelation, where when was it? I think it was Jesus who actually prophesied this. When you see the number 1111, that's when the world is going to change. That's when we're going to be entering into the golden age. Obviously, he said it differently to why I just said it. But that's what we're seeing. You're seeing messages of that. We are, the divine feminine has actually been abused and misinterpreted. And especially with, I'm going to say it, this transgender crap. It's about destroying the divine feminine and the wisdom of the divine feminine and the wisdom of going within and going into that inner core, sort of like that inner darkness, that inner mystery where all creation is born. Like a seed, it is born from the darkness. It is born from the soil. It's dark. That's where it germinates. That's where it actually manifests and becomes something, and then it strives for the light. Same when you're gestating as a baby, you're inside the womb. So it's talking about creating a relationship. This is what does living your highest self and strongest version of yourself look like. You're in that flow. You're in that connection with the transition that we're going through at this time. You were meant to be here, and you were meant to be here to help balance out those energies in a very, very powerful way, in a very strong way. And I'd say you're someone who can actually articulate this probably better than I can right now. Someone who can speak your mind and speak to balancing out the divine and masculine feminine energies. You could probably talk about, feminine energies and masculine energies, for a whole hour or two and still have a lot to say. You're very connected in with balancing that out. And we both have feminine and masculine energies within us. And even, if we're born as a female, you can still have those masculine qualities of, taking action and setting boundaries and being strong, and standing in your own power, while at the same time being nurturing and loving yourself, and creating space in your life for that nurture. So I would say the highest version or strongest version of yourself, very, very spiritual. It's that divine union between, and I really feel like it's within yourself. And when having a look at it in relation to what's going on, I just need to tune in to see the connection between the two. Just one second. Okay. Have a look at the situation itself and what it's calling forth or bringing forth from you. That is what will help balance you out in order to become that strongest, highest version of yourself. So you can come here to not just do that within yourself, but do that and demonstrate that for all of humanity, because all of us as a collective consciousness are going through that transition period at this time. And you're going to be a messenger for that. That's you living your highest and strongest version of yourself. How to create that divine union within yourself first. Yep. Okay. Wow. And doing that and mastering that. Absolutely mastering that. That's what you came here to do. Wow. Huge. All right. So let's have a look at Mystical Wisdom deck about what message does this highest or strongest version of yourself have for you. Whoops. What would it like to say? The you in the future, that aspect of you that already exists, you just need to tap into it. What message does it have for you right now? Okay, that wanted to come out. Peacock, raise your standards, strut your stuff. Perfect. And that feels like it wants to go right in there. Okay, enlightenment. Oh, pursue spiritual growth. Absolutely. Yeah, this is a very, very strong spiritual reading. Very strong. You've got 1111 there. Heed the vibes there. The Sphinx is all about it, very much like that High Priestess card in tarot. If you love something, set it free. And in doing so, especially when you let go of control, you're setting yourself free as well. Strut your stuff. Strut your spiritual stuff. That is the message that this highest and strongest version of yourself has. Don't be afraid to because I would say you're already enlightened. You already have that sense of enlightenment, but perhaps you don't realize it just yet. It's suggesting that you need to continue on that spiritual growth path, and it'd be interesting to see, what step you can take today towards going towards it. That will help you. That'll give you some advice as to what you can do today. And also I'll be having a look at how you can best access and connect into. So that'll give you advice on how to, but the message is to actually continue to pursue this spiritual growth path. And perhaps part of that might be to set a part of yourself free. That is more because when you have something reflected in your external reality, that where in this instance you might feel that there might be an ending coming up, that is an external projection of an internal aspect of yourself that has been projected on your external reality. So when you remove or balance out that internal representation of yourself that needs to be rebalanced, then the external representation will reflect that, and then that will fade out of your existence. So I feel that that's what you're doing right now. You're already on a spiritual path. You're already clearing out you're probably doing the shadow work, and you're clearing out the limiting belief systems that no longer serve you, the aspects of yourself that you've gathered along the way that no longer serve you. So you're getting rid of them one by one by one. And because you've done that, now you're sensing that you've shifted. And now you're sensing that other things are going to be removed from your life because they are no longer a external representation of your internal reality, because you've changed your internal reality. And because you've done that, this external equivalent needs to go now, and now you're sensing that. And however that's going to look for you. It could be a relationship, it could be several relationships, it could be the work environment, it could be anything, it could be just your diet, it could be anything that you feel is starting to shift because you're starting to shift. So continue on that. Whatever you're doing it right. And that's what your highest and strongest version of yourself is actually saying to you. Continue to do it, but allow the process to happen in its own time. So if you feel like something's coming to an end, the advice isn't saying to go out and end it right now. Just let it play itself out. Let it see where it wants to go. But definitely strut your spiritual stuff. Let the world know. If you're into witchcraft, there's light witchcraft. If you're into that, let the world know of that. If you're into fairies and unicorns, let the world know that. If you're into tarot, let the world know that. If you want to start wearing, different colored clothes or flowing clothes, or start wearing, jewelry with crystals in it, do that. Strut your spiritual stuff. Let the world know who you are and the spiritual growth that you're taking, because they need to know that. And if they don't like it, well, who cares? You need to really honor who you are, and your higher self is starting to come through, and you're really starting to feel that now. So continue on that path. You're doing the exact right thing. Okay. So how can you best access and connect into this highest and strongest version of yourself? And we'll do that using the Mythic Tarot. Okay, that was better. Okay. That was crap. So, actually, I'll do that one more time. How can you best access and connect into the highest, strongest version of yourself? There it is. Page of Cups. Beautiful. Okay. And underlying that, there we go, Death, reversed. All right. Don't resist it. Don't resist this shift. Allow it to move through your experience. It looks like there's going to be a lot of shadow work. I see the Page of Cups. And again, being in the completion phase, you've done a lot anyway. You've done a lot of shadow work. It's about looking within on an emotional level, or letting your emotions guide you when you're doing the shadow work, and following the emotions that are creating the biggest resistance. And when you follow that and you find that core, you find the core limiting belief system that is stopping you from moving forward. So perhaps, your whole, this is an example, your whole social media friends list on whatever social media have no idea that you like candles and read tarot or do spiritual work. They have no idea that you do that. And you have a lot of resistance to actually putting a post out there along a spiritual, even a meme along the spiritual lines. So this is like how you can best access that, or how you can best access the strongest and highest version of yourself, is to do the shadow work on that resistance. For example, the resistance to strutting your stuff and letting it out there and putting it out there and being this amazing, but like, I'm tuning into your energy, and it is just so powerful, so pure, so connected. But there is a belief system that you hold that makes you not want to communicate that just yet. Or there's a belief system that's probably linked to not being a little bit out of balance. Maybe you're a guy watching this, and the belief system is that's a girly thing to do. I'm going to be seen as, I'm not going to be looking very masculine if I do that, for example. It just sort of feels like there's a limiting belief system with regards to balance of the feminine and masculine energy when it comes to stepping in to this path, especially on a public level. Okay, so how you can best access this is to do the shadow work on that, where you see or feel the most emotional resistance to moving on and letting something go, because this is about setting something free, and this is about the resistance to doing that. You're feeling something is shifting. So that is a good place to start. Wherever you're feeling the vibes, do some shadow work there. Where you're feeling the most emotional imbalance and struggle and resistance, do the shadow work there. That is how you can best access. because once you release that block, that's the block that is stopping that connection, or not stopping, but preventing that connection or blocking that connection. Okay, so now let's have a look at what step can you do today or within the next 24, even 48 hours to get you closer to living that highest and strongest version of yourself. This is the Tarot of Dreams deck. So what step can you do today? Or if you're watching this at night, what step can you do within the next 24 hours to get you closer? And that came straight out. And this, I will say, pile 1 got exactly this card. And you saw me shuffle that. And it was in reversed as well. So if you're drawn to pile 1, maybe that can help. And full. Okay, and upright. So I feel like putting that there. All right. So this is what you can do today. An example of that would be, because the Fool is about something completely new, starting a completely new life, and this feels like the past. So an example of that would be in the past or up until now, every Friday night you go out and, you go clubbing, or you go out and have a few drinks, or you go to a friend's place and you bong on, or something like that. What step you can do today is to say, you know what, this Friday night, I'm staying home, I'm staying in, and I'm going to make myself a salad. I don't know, I'm just making that up. But what step you can do today is do something completely different. That could possibly be, again, highly linked to pile number 1. That could be possibly where your emotional block is, and you might escape into partying. You might escape into being surrounded by people all the time. And maybe what you need to do is spend some time on your own and just connect in with who you really are and do that shadow work. So what you can do today is do something completely different to what you've been doing up until now, especially when it comes to numbing emotional pain, or distracting yourself from emotional pain, or going somewhere. So, example of that, it would be, just always having people around you, or going to a party, or, always having a little bit too much to drink, to the point where you're not feeling that emotional pain anymore. What this is calling for to get you to access your higher self is to do something completely different, and do the shadow work. Go within, see someone if you want to help you go through anywhere there's emotional resistance. So what you can do now, this Friday night, it's Friday as I'm actually doing this, but I'm not going anywhere. Do something completely different to what you would normally do, but something that is more in alignment with your enlightenment, and accessing that higher, continue to go on your spiritual path and strutting your stuff. Maybe instead of posting on social media, something stupid and meaningless, maybe post something completely different towards your enlightenment. Maybe post something of a spiritual nature instead. That could be one step you can do today to get yourself closer and more connected to your highest and strongest version of yourself. Something completely new, completely different. Yeah, perfect. Okay. All right, so let's have a look at the future energies, the next 1 to 2 months. And this is the future energies along the path of connection towards your highest and strongest version of yourself, or becoming the highest and strongest version of yourself. Okay. Probably should have shuffled them and shot. Sorry. Okay. I did shuffle them, you heard. Okay. All right. Quite a few. I'm going to take them. I don't normally take 4, but I will take them. So you've got ego, which is the devil in tarot speak, in the completion phase. Illusion, dependency, and materialism. So we'll just see what else comes out. Okay. 7 of earth, which is 7 of pentacles, again in the completion phase. Investment, assessment, patience. Patience is coming out twice. 8 of water, which is 8 of cups. Very linked to setting it free. Searching, empowerment, and fulfillment. And, okay, seeing if I can get all these in the shot. And 3 of fire, which is 3 of wands in the initial phase. goals, expansion, and vision. So let's just put that over there. And underlying all of that is 6 of Cups, or 6 of Water, and that's reversed. Memories, childhood, and nostalgia. Okay, so if I can put that up there, put that down there, I might be able to just squeeze that in the middle there. Okay. So let's just have a look at these future energies. And it's interesting, the future energies, this has a past card to it. And it's in reverse. So I would say in the future, let me just have a look at this just for a second. Okay. Within the next 1 to 2 months, you are going to be so close to making this transition and removing these limiting belief systems, because you've got the ego and the devil there and the death reversed right next to each other. This is what I call a big mama core limiting belief system, especially if you go along this path. And this is towards becoming the highest, strongest version of yourself, by the way. You're going to be, I would say within 3 months, yep, you would have nailed it. So within the next 1 to 2 months, especially if you do this shadow work, especially if you take steps that are completely different to what you would normally do along this path, you're going to be so close. The 7 of Pentacles is about, like you've planted a tree and you're going, oh, is the fruit about ready to pick? No, just a little bit longer, but it's in the completion phase. That's in the completion phase. The 8 of Cups, which is about walking away, setting it free, but it's also about searching for a deeper meaning, which is that and that as well. And they're all in the completion phase. So I would say within 3 months, you will have nailed this. You would have figured out what that limiting belief system is, and you would have overcome it. And you will also would have taken steps forward to actually exhibiting this highest version of yourself and actually putting it out there on a public platform in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just how you speak. Because you're going to be, it sort of feels like you're going to be doing both. You're going to be clearing, but becoming the new you at the same time. Huge period of transition to who we're all meant to become in this lifetime at this time. So you would have established that balance. You would have established the balance of the masculine and feminine within yourself. You would have created that divine union within yourself. And by then, whatever it is that was the internal representation of the old you, the old limiting belief systems, I would say that by that stage, it would have either got on board and balanced out with you, or removed itself from your experience entirely. This isn't 100% clear as to whether this is an actual external thing or whether it's just an internal imbalance of setting the old you free. But your life, I would say, within the next certainly 3 months is going to look completely different to the way it looks now. And it's all because you're going to be making that internal shift towards enlightenment and letting this limiting belief system go. It's linked to your past. So it could be it could be a separation that you had with someone a very, very long time ago that was very dear to you, or someone that you either grew up with or had past life connections with. It's linked to that. It's linked to that relationship, or it's linked to that situation, or it's linked to that energetic tie. You're going to be creating, what do you call it? Sort of a disconnect to that aspect of you, which is okay, because it's no longer serving you. You don't need to, because every situation has its, and I'm feeling quite a block to this information, which is strange. Every situation has its growth opportunity inherent in it. You don't need that anymore. You needed it at one point. You've learned what you need to learn now. So the limiting belief systems that came along with that are still current in your vibration, though, and that's what needs to be removed, because it's no longer relevant in your life. That's going to take 1 to 2 months, but you're going to do it. You're absolutely going to do it. So with the advice here, you're absolutely going to achieve it, by the way. You're going to get it. Set your goal and make it clear now about what you want to look like. To say, what would the highest, strongest version of myself do in this situation? Who do I want to be? How do I want to balance out the masculine and feminine? If you're Maybe if you're a bit too passive and you're a bit too, wanting to keep the peace, you want to be someone who actually stands up and sets boundaries and says no, but does it in a very, balanced and equal win-win way. Maybe that's the divine union that you're wanting to create in order to be both, because we're not just feminine, we're not just masculine, we're a bit of both. We come in a female body or a male body, but within that, you need to have that delicate balance, and you're going to be communicating that. Okay, so I'm just going to tune in, just see if there's anything else. I'm hoping all this makes sense. Mm. Definitely, yeah. Within the next, and here's a 3 as well. Within the next 3 months, you're going to be strutting your spiritual stuff. You're going to be connected in with you're going to be living and being the full embodiment of this highest and strongest version of yourself. You're going to be a walking, breathing example of it. And other people are going to see that. It's going to come through the way you walk. It's going to come through the way you talk and what you say, all because you have removed this limiting belief system. But also let the universe just guide you and let you know which way to go and what direction to take and what step to take or when to take it. There's more information to come, and be okay with not knowing everything at this time. When you get the information, when the path and the step in the path reveals itself, take that step and then you'll know. You're not meant to know just yet. That's why I was getting a huge block, I think, to the information coming through. It's going to be different for each one of you. But it's going to look very, very different. You're going to look very different. And to someone who knew you back when you were younger, like, 10, 20 years younger, to meet you in 3 months' time, they won't recognize you. They might not even recognize the external representation of you, like your physical vessel. You might even look physically completely different. You're just going to be like, for someone who he hadn't seen for like 20 years was to meet you now or meet you in 3 months' time, they'll go, whoa, you are so different, but in a very positive way, very positive way. You're going to be way more enlightened, way more intuitive, way more connected. You're going to have clear boundaries. You're going to be okay with not knowing. You're going to be connected in with the flow of manifestation and how to create in this reality. You're going to be completely balanced on an internal level, and your external level will, in 3 months, have reflected that as well. Any past connections, they might come back, but they won't. If they're not of the same vibration, they won't be able to stay. So maybe they might come back, but also if they do come back, and how you respond to that same person might let you know just how far you've come, because 10, 20 years ago you responded in a very different way in that situation, and in 3 months' time, if they come back, it's just the universe's way of saying, look how far you've come, look at who you are now, and look at the boundaries that you can make. Look at you saying no and being completely okay with that. Look at you knowing exactly what you need to know, and exactly what you need to do in the moment, and just doing it and acting on it, and trusting your intuition, trusting that connection, and being able to access that connection like that in the moment when you need it, and seeing it pay off. That is where you're going to be in 3 months' time. That is amazing. Okay, so I'll just see if there's anything else. This is a very spiritual path and a very spiritual pile. This is what it's really about, why you came here, and accessing this inner you. It's the old you that really needs to be set free. Whether there be an external representation of it or not, the main thing is letting the old you free and letting that be okay. And this new you is completely new, something completely different, is just going to be so close to God, so connected. And you'll be walking along this earth in a Christ-like way. And what did Christ say? Jesus say something like, you will be able to do all I can do and more. We thought what he could create was miracles back then. We'll be able to do that. You'll be able to go out of body, create your own reality, empathically tune into what people are feeling and thinking, tap into the future, know it when you need to know it. Those are classed as supernatural powers. But the more you do things that are unnatural to you and get good at doing those things that are unnatural to you, like shadow work is unnatural, we've not been taught how to do that. The more you get good at that, the more supernatural you become, because you get good at doing the unnatural. But you've got this, you know you've got this, you're sensing into it, you're feeling the shift anyway. Just go with it, and let the universe just have its beautiful and miraculous way with you and into creating the new you that you're becoming. Awesome. Oh, great. Excellent. Thank you so much for letting me just standing this energy. So powerful, so pure, so connected. You're already there. You just got to do a little bit of shadow work. And I'd love to do a reading for you in 3 months' time and just, or tap into that new you in 3 months' time and just see that, because you are imperative to the spiritual collective awakening on this planet. Absolutely imperative. It's very, very important. Awesome. So, thank you again for joining me. And if you liked it, like, share, subscribe, put a comments in the comment section if you feel invited to do so. Also, if you want me to do any future reads on any topic related to this one or a separate one, again, put that in the comment section below, and I'll use that as inspiration for my next pick a card read. But until I do my next pick a card read, I'll say thank you again so much, and bye. Hey, Path 3, welcome to your read. And if you chose this read, you chose Hathor. Okay. So I'll start to introduce Hathor while I just get this clearing going. Hathor is someone she's the mother of the pharaoh, and she is someone who celebrates life. Let's just see if it's going to light. It is. Got a bit of a breeze going. And basically loves love, loves life, and I'll just like that. And enjoys the sensuality of the body and all that life has to offer. So just do a clearing. Set your intention for this read today. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay. Okay. And there we go. Thought it wasn't going to go in there. All right. So if you're connected to the Hathor energy, you're someone who most likely you're single, or you and your partner are just enjoying life. You're going out and you're going to a lot of parties. You're just celebrating life. But it feels more of a single sort of energy. I'll get some more when I get some more of the clarification from the energy deck or the energy oracle. But this is someone who, perhaps if you've lost faith in love in the past, it may be re-emerging. So it might be a past love coming back where you thought it wasn't going to work out and you wish it did, or your renewed faith in love might be coming back as well. So, but that comes through enjoying life and living life at the fullest. So just doing what makes you feel good, because it feels good, purely because it feels good, and that's it. And in that is what's going to heal you, or that's what you're doing. You're kicking up your heels. You're not taking life so seriously. You're just enjoying life and enjoying the pleasures and the simple pleasures of life, and that's healing you on an emotional level. So let's put that down. We'll just get some more information. So I might just move that up here, and these come out every which way, and I might do this because it's going to make them fall off. There we go. Okay, so that's that way. Man holding a coin, just coming out of the initial phase. Okay, let's put that down there because I've got a few. And let's look at this one. Community in the initial phase. So already looking at these two, this could talk about your job, your workplace. So man holding a coin could be your boss, or it could be a place where money is, or an investment. It could be a mutual investment with a lot of different people. Community is usually more than 2 or more people, 3 or more people. So it could be a social group. You could be pulling money together in some way, shape or form. But this certainly looks like a workplace type environment. So let's have a look at this one. Flip it over that way. And storm warning, just coming out of the initial phase. Okay, and a storm warning is exactly what it is, what it says it is. And I'll put that one there, and let's have a look at what's on the bottom of the deck. The world reversed. Okay. So it could be the first instance that I got with the world reversed is not what I normally actually get from the world reversed. It's about taking a different perspective on something, or something that didn't end as you thought it would has forced you to take a different view on life. So an example of this could be, I'll make it so that's visible there, could be this still morning with this job, could be a job ended, or a contract with a client that you thought you had didn't go through, or had ended in a sort of unnatural or sudden way. But what that has done is freed up your space and freed up your time to actually do what matters and do what makes you feel good. You've had time to do your hobbies. You've had time to spend time with your animals, or your garden. You've had time to actually have lunch with friends. You've had time to do all of that sort of stuff. So what that has actually done is reacquainted, this is an example, reacquainted you with the finer pleasures in life, the simple pleasures in life. And actually, it's not all about work, because it's actually forced you to take some time out. So it could be, maybe you've had a whole heap of sick leave banked up and you've been told to go on sick leave or something like that. That could be something as well, because with the Hathor energy, it could be a past love coming back. So what I'm sort of sensing and how I'm just articulating this energy is that, for example, you've lost the job, and that has given you the space to actually live life and enjoy life and remind yourself just how good life can be. It doesn't have to be all about money. It doesn't have to be all about work. And then once you've realized that, that has actually healed that belief system that you have to work really hard. And now either that job or another job like it is going to present itself to you, but you're now looking at work from a completely different perspective. You're not going to make it life all about work, because you've had a taste of what it's like to actually live and enjoy life, enjoy the sensuality of life, and enjoy life with other people from a different perspective. So that's the energy check. So if something like that has happened, it looks like it's something that's happened recently. However, the realization of kicking up your heels and experiencing that and enjoying that, and the healing process that presents itself, that could be something that you're still moving through now, or you're still starting to realize, but you're just having a really good time. And it's not necessarily about money, but something has ended that might look like it might come back. But in that time, you've actually had some time out to yourself. Another example could be someone who you were married to, and you sort of had a separation, and now you've had a chance to just sort of spend life on your own, spend time on your own, and that has healed you both. And now maybe you're going, you know what, let's get back together. It looks like it might work, because we're now looking at ourselves differently. We're looking at relationships differently. We're looking at each other differently. It could work. So that's another example of this situation. So if that sounds like you, then you found your right pile. So now let's have a look. We'll use the Lightworker Oracle, and we'll have a look at, because this whole reading is about how to access and connect into your highest and strongest version of yourself. So let's have a look at what life's going to be like when you're living that aspect of you, and when you're being that highest and strongest aspect of yourself. What does your life look like when you're there? Because you can be there at any time. So what does living your life look like that? And this is a Lightworker Oracle, if I didn't say it before. What does living your life as your highest and strongest version of yourself look like? Past life activation. Ooh. And that's almost in the completion phase. And I feel like putting that in the corner there like that, and underlying that, first ray of power. And this is the first card of the deck, and this is the picture that actually appears on the, here's the book. It's a picture that appears on the book. And I'm actually, now I've got called to do that, I'm going to look at the book, The First Ray of Power, sort of like an initiation. Past life activation. This is huge. This is what living your life, this is living life, like all your past lives and all the experience that you've gained and accumulated up until now is going to now manifest, and you're going to reap the rewards of all of that knowledge in this lifetime. You're going to be able to, when you're living your highest, strongest version of yourself, access all the traits, all the skills, all the abilities, all the memories, all the knowledge of all your past lives, not just here on earth, but all of them. And that is going to make you come into your power. Holy crap. Wow, that's huge. That is really huge. Okay, first ray of power. It's a long one, but I'm only going to read this little bit here. Okay. So the first ray of power is energy of consciousness, or energy of conscious destruction, and which is what's happened here. It can be used in a healthy way to eliminate the past and allow for fresh start. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, I love tarot. The first ray also carries the frequency of leadership. It can assist you to stand in the truth of your light so others can find their way by it. It helps to strengthen your willpower so you can accomplish any task you choose. The Ascended Master 𝓦𝓔𝓛𝓒𝓞𝓜𔔛, I've actually seen that before, brings you his particular blessing and encourages you to believe in your own strength. And this is about finding your strongest version of yourself and take the initiative on what matters most to you. Okay, I might just read a little bit longer. If you are confused about which path to take or whether to continue a certain relationship, course of action, or lifestyle choice, the first ray of power will clarify matters for you. When it moves through our lives, which is what you're moving through now, you're receiving healing by doing all this kicking up your heels and enjoying life or doing things that pleasure you or make you feel good. When it moves through our lives, whether it is holding us back will be removed. Whatever is holding us back will be removed, which is this stuff it's being removed for you, either through circumstances seemingly beyond our own control, which is the storm warning, or by our own actions based on a sudden inner knowing. This is huge. I'm going to keep going. When the first ray of power is indicated a long-term plan that was once important to you, even a long-term plan from past lives as well, may suddenly seem as though it needs to change or be released altogether. So this past life activation could be, all this is activating a new you. So all this stuff has to go. And it feels like a culmination of all those lives. You're becoming like you're integrating. Okay. Or you suddenly might get the motivation to go for something you've been dreaming on for a long time. This once this ray affects your life, your understanding of what was helpful and what is not can change overnight. This is the change in perspective. So this is just confirming everything I've just said. Okay. The changes will feel very true, freeing, and helpful. Those people, dreams, and opportunities that remain in your life afterwards have survived the onslaught of divine will. This means that this universe is confirming that they're meant to be in your journey at this time. Okay, I feel I've read enough of that. I don't need to read any more. So this person, if they come back, they're meant to stay. And it sort of feels, what's that saying? If you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it was yours to begin with, or something like that. That's sort of what's happened for both of you, whether it be you in a job, you in a career, you in your relationship to work, or you and a person in a relationship, or your relationship to love itself. You've learnt to love yourself first. So when you either get back together with this person or start in a new relationship, it's not going to be the same. You're not going to be the same because you're different. You're seeing, for example, relationships, career, money, whatever the situation has ended. You're seeing that in a completely different way now, from a completely different perspective. That had to go. That had to end in order for you to experience this. And what living your highest version of yourself, or your strongest version of yourself looks like, is that all coming to it. Like this is, I actually think you're beginning to experience now what living your life as your highest, strongest version of yourself looks like. It's already starting to become activated. This, whenever you feel good, whenever you're doing something that makes you feel good, that's you living your strongest, highest version of yourself. And I've done piles 1 and 2 now, and I will say that neither of those piles actually had achieved that at this point, because I will be going on in a sec to sort of say, how to access it and what step you can do today and things like that. But I have a feeling you're already experiencing it and you're already beginning in that energy. And you possibly have information coming through your dreams, or you're just coming across knowledge, innate knowledge that is just like, where did that come from? It's coming from past lives. It's coming from past lives outside of this earth as well, where it's helping you make this decision. Being in this energy is what made this end and what made you step in to this loving, carefree, fun, exuberant aspect of yourself where you're enjoying life, or you looking or seeking pleasures. That is your intent now, to do things that make you feel good, choose you first. It's a completely different perspective to which you've had in the past, and it's a positive one, and it is the one that you have meant to take and all along, or what you've been working towards, not just in this life but in the past lives, and now you're there. So everything is being activated. Awesome. Okay, so let's have a look and see what message that your highest and strongest version of yourself has for you. And I have a feeling that it's going to be something that's going to confirm something that you already know. This message isn't going to be a surprise to you because you're already so closely connected to it. It'll just be confirmation. So it'll be, I already knew that. So what message does your higher self? And the last reading I did, this took nearly a whole minute to come out. But this time, straight away. Okay. Moving forward. And that's the card that came out in the last. I love tarot. Okay. Get ready for positive change. This is just coming out of the reversal. Wow. And now I think this is advice actually, but it came out. Yeah, it came out in the last read. That's just insane. Okay. And leadership, set your goals. Okay, it's come out reverse, but I'm going to flip it because normally I don't receive, I don't do the underlying reverse, but I will note it. Okay, so it feels like you've just started to take leadership of your own life, and you've just started to look for the positive aspects in life and make choices based on that. So this is the message that your higher self has for you, or your strongest version of yourself has for you, is you've now begun to move forward in a positive way, in a very positive way. And you've just begun to take leadership of your own life. So perhaps maybe more clearly define your goals. Perhaps your goals aren't as clearly defined. And that would make sense since you're just sort of living life in the moment and enjoying life in the moment. But it is asking you to set some goals about who you want to be and how you want to. And those goals can be, I want to live permanently from a state of joy. I want to live permanently doing something that makes me feel good. I want to choose to do that and then move forward in that direction. So it feels like you're already positive, you're already feeling good, you're already making those choices, but make them clearer and start taking some steps. And in 2 decks time, I'll be having a look at what step you can do today to make that happen. And the next one, I'll be looking at how you can access your highest, strongest self, which you're already doing is probably just going to confirm that. So the message, though, that your highest, strongest version of yourself has for you, and you probably already started taking action steps. That's why I felt like I wanted to turn that round. And it's interesting that came out in, I believe it was pile 2 as well, this same card. Blows my mind. So maybe if you felt drawn to pile 2, I invite you to have a look on that, but you don't really have to if you don't want to, because this pile is where it's at. So I'll just move that so you can actually see that as well. So get moving in a positive way, take some leadership. And this is more leadership of your own life and leadership of what makes you feel good, and leadership over becoming the strongest aspect of yourself, or the highest aspect of yourself, and set some goals, set some plan in motion, and take action towards doing that. So perhaps you haven't yet done that. I think you've been thinking about it's like, yeah, I've got to take some action. I've got to do, an example is, you want to say you wanted to get back into a relationship. Okay, I might get back out there. I might, go on that day. Or I might, start looking for work again. Or, maybe your old employer has rung you, or an ex has rung you. And you go, yeah, I might contact them again and just see what's going on. So it feels like it's not really a surprise, this message, but perhaps you haven't taken action on it just yet. Okay. So, yeah, get moving on. And it feels like it's more of a long-term goal that the higher self and your strongest self is asking you to look for, but the long-term goal based on your relationship with the highest version of yourself and who you want to become in this life. Okay. So now let's have a look at using the Mythic Tarot, how you can best access and connect with this highest and strongest version of yourself. Oh, this deck hates shuffling, but I love it. I love it. Oh, for chuck's sake. All right, I'm going to do one more. Okay, that's better. All right. So how can you best access and connect into this highest, strongest version of yourself? You're already doing it, so maybe this is just a little bit extra advice, extra things you can do to make it more stronger. Queen of Wands. Okay, very powerful card. And the Five of Pentacles. Don't make it about money. And the Four of Cups reversed. Okay. Okay. So how you can best access is to come in your power. And I feel like putting that on top of the Five of Pentacles there. So stand in your own power. Perhaps you've had thoughts about money, and that is tying in true with, if you have either been demoted or lost a job or things like that. Don't make it those thoughts that you think, I can't get another job, or I'm not worthy because I'm not working, or I won't be able to get another job at that pay, or maybe wanting to create a role where you want to get paid more, but you don't think you're worthy of it. All of those thoughts, those limiting thoughts that are telling you that you're not of value, take control over them, take power over them. I actually feel like doing this and just covering it with the Queen of Wands energy, because the Queen of Wands won't have any of that shit. And Hathor is very highly linked to the Queen of Wands, and that is who you really are. Stand in your own power over those limiting thoughts that tell you're not of value. It could be very linked to actually taking that action step. It'll be interesting to see what the action step is in a second, about moving forward in a very positive way. Stand in your power and own that shit. Walk into that interview and go, I own this job, and if I don't get it, then it's your loss. Walk in there with your power, owning your power. Doll yourself up. Go in there, wear a power suit. I don't know. Because the Queen of Wands, she comes across as someone who's very confident, very powerful. I see this as someone who is a very powerful witchcraft, or someone who holds a lot of power, excellent manifester, gets stuff done, initiates things, an ideas person, very, very creative, especially now you're starting to activate your past life as well, and destroying the old. You're coming in there with a brand new person. Who is that person? That you're coming in with a completely different perspective. You're not going to be in a job, even if it is the same job that you're going back to, because there is a sense of that. It's not going to be in the same position, or you're not going to be the same person in that role. It's going to be completely different, because you know your power now. You know your value. The Queen of Wands absolutely knows her value, and not just knows it, flaunts it. And this is how you can best access that, is to, an example of what you can do to get into your power is go back to a time where you did something that you were brilliant at. It could be completely unrelated to this. Something that you did where you excelled, and you owned it, you mastered it, and everyone went, oh my God, that was amazing. You achieved amazing results. Go back there in your mind, and go back there in your emotions, and live out that, relive that moment. It could even be a past life where you've done that, if you have the ability to access that. You might be getting dreams where you're having amazing abilities to do something. Whatever you can do to get yourself into that feeling of power, accomplishment, and someone that owns a room. So let's just say in the past you were great at some sport. Let's just say netball or whatever, and you owned it. You never missed a shot. You were a goal shooter, and you got every shot. You owned it. You always got the trophies and everything for that sport. Go back to that. This is just an example, obviously. Go back to that feeling that you felt when you mastered that, and when you were getting accolades for it, and you were the top of your field. How does that feel? access that and own that. And then when that and just amp up, you can turn up those feelings, just really, really get into that emotion. And then once you're there, take that feeling, ball it up, and then put it into the job interview in the future that you're going to. Absolutely owning it, absolutely being the top of your field, having everyone go, oh my God, she's a clear winner. For example, you can do that. That is one way you can actually come into your power, because this is how you can best access and connect in to your highest and strongest version of yourself. Stand in your own power. And how the example I just gave is how you can actually do that. There has to absolutely 100% be a time in your past where you've done that. Go back there, reacquaint yourself with that, blow it up, amp it up anytime, any way you want to do that, and then activate that again from within yourself, and then carry yourself moving forward in that state, in that powerful state. And that's how you're going to access the strongest and highest version of yourself as well. But it's something that you can bring into this situation. All right, so let's have a look now at what you can do today, or if you're looking at this, watching this at night, what you can do within the next 24 hours to get you closer to living your highest and strongest self. And you're already so close. So, again, it might just be confirmation. But let's just have a look at another tidbit. And probably didn't see that shuffle. No. Let's just do one more over here. There we go. And it was a good one. Yay. All right. So what can you do today or within the next 24 hours to get you closer to it? All right. So that's the Nine of Swords in the completion phase. Yeah, absolutely. That's, again, confirming what I just said, and death reversed. All right. Yeah. So what you can do today is exactly what I just said. Where you're feeling the most resistance, the most and mental resistance, especially where you think the worst case scenario is going to happen, and it's almost paralyzing you with fear, and that's what's stopping you from moving ahead. That's where this power needs to overcome that. So what you can do today is take, and I will get clarification with the Fairy Temple Oracle. I feel like I just need to get another card for that. And I'll see if I can get this shuffling in shot somehow. Okay. Because you can do the shadow work, you can just journal it out, you can talk it out to yourself. Often when these thoughts that have you making you believe that you can't do it, you can't go for that job, you'll never get it, all that sort of stuff. The moment you say it out loud, say those thoughts out loud, because 90% of those thoughts are ridiculous when you hear them out loud. It's, oh, come on, really? What's the worst that can happen? I go for the interview and I don't get the job. I've gone for the interview, I've got experience interviewing, maybe there might be another job that I could go for. This is what step you can do today is to not listen to those thoughts. Okay, I'll just get clarification from the Fairy Temple Oracle. I just feel it needs just one more. So I won't take another line, just one more. Oh, I'll be taking two more. Oh my God. Okay, so that is take flight, daring, bravery, and certainty. Okay, and that is coming to the reversal. It's explaining this perfectly. Midsummer, prosper, progress, and cultivate. And again, that's also coming into the reversal. So I will move that over there. But that's explaining that. Okay, so these negative thoughts, these thoughts of in the shot layer of worst case scenario certainly are not serving you, and they are offering the most resistance. That's what needs to be looked at. A way to do that is to go back into this scenario here where you've gone back to that time where you owned it, you mastered something, you had accolades, you were the clear winner of whatever it is, you just mastered your craft in that area of your life. Go back into that area, reacquaint yourself with those emotions of that peak moment. Stay in that moment for as long as you want. Just really amp it up and wait till you really feel it and your body's feeling it and your body's reacting to it. Amp it up. In your mind, you want to maybe make it brighter, you make it louder, you make it bigger. Really own that emotion and bring it into the present moment. And then look at this same situation where you're feeling this negativity and bring that into that feeling, or bring that into those thoughts. No way can these thoughts, because these are just in your mind, these fears are just in your mind, they're not real. This thing that you did in the past, that happened. Your mind can't debate that. So whenever, for example, let's just say you're thinking of going for a job that you don't feel you're qualified enough for, but you want it. And so those fears of not being good enough, or, stupid thoughts of you're going to get laughed out of the interview or whatever, that will never happen, by the way. Those thoughts that are stopping you and preventing you from moving forward, those thoughts cannot survive in the light of something like this and an energy like this where you're mastering it. So bring that into it. And so bring that into the scenario of the interview, for example. Not those thoughts. Don't entertain those thoughts. That's something that you can do today, to say, you know what, no thoughts. I'm not going to entertain you today. For 24 hours, I'm going to disallow those thoughts. You can always think them in 25 hours. You can always think them tomorrow if you want to. But for 24 hours, don't think about those resistant thoughts, because they're not true. They're just in your mind only. That inner power that you've exhibited in the past, in either the past life or in your past now, that's true and that's real. Accessing that is possible. Just as possible as accessing that. You've just practiced that more than this. That's all it is. So, and that once you reverse these around and realize it's all in your mind, realize that you do have the power in any moment. You can master anything. You can master this. You could master that job if that's what it is. Going back to that job, you can absolutely do that. Once you realize that, you're going to be standing in your power. Then you're going to walk into that interview owning it. Then they're going to look at you and going, oh, she's confident, because that's what sells you. If you get an interview, you've already sold them on your resume. What they're looking for is how you carry yourself, how confident you are, and how you interact with them. That's really what they're looking at the interview, not your skills and abilities. Your resume has already spoken to that. You get an interview and get in this power, that at least doubles your chance. At least will put you in the top 3 of getting that job if you do that and stop listening to that. And that's actually what is also going to, because you already started to activate this. Like, you walk in just owning your power, really happy, really joyful, happy to be there, smiling. You're making them feel at ease. You're making them feel good just in your presence. And just own the room. Own it. Let go of the worst case scenario. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Or you don't go back into that relationship. There's always someone else who is of equal or better value that you can actually meet up with and have a relationship with. It doesn't have to be this one job or this one company or this one this one person. Sorry, that smoke went up my throat. So let go of those limiting thoughts, and that's what you can do today. That's what you can do right now. Actually, after this reading, that's exactly what you can do. Own the room. Okay, so let's have a look now at the next 1 to 2 months. And this is the energies. Let's see if I can do this in shot. Let's see if I can do this at all. The future energies within the next 1 to 2 months along the path of connection to your higher self, which you've already begun, by the way. Okay, one more really good shuffle like that. That'd be really good. Lovely. All right. So what does the next 1 to 2 months have in store for you with regards to your pathway along here? It is. Oh, love it. Oh, and that's exactly what Hathor is. The 3. This is owning it. This is your birthright to be this: goals, expansion, and vision. Your absolute birthright. And pile 2 got this card out of this deck and this card out of that deck. So this is really strongly linked to pile 2, I must say. So if you're drawn to it, I invite you to have a look. So Knight of Air, which is Knight of Swords. 3 of Fire is 3 of Wands. And Wands, Wands, Wands. Okay, so let's push that up there, and I'll put that there. And if I put that out like that, then this will be in shot. And it is. Woohoo! Check that out. Okay. All right. I think they were that way. That doesn't really matter. Okay, so this in the next 1 to 2 months is basically you communicating your power. You communicating exactly what I just said. You standing in your own power. You're going to do this. You're absolutely going to do this. And I'd say you're probably going to do it within the next 1 month or even less. because you're so close. You're pretty much there. It could just be one process away of going back into that moment where you felt capable, you owned the room, you mastered your craft, and you were the clear winner, and then owning that emotion. And that could be all you need to do. Could be when you had a past relationship or even a past friendship that was just so, you felt so connected and you just felt so at one with that person. And so, and, you could be vulnerable with them. You could just be yourself with them. You could be at ease with them. And then reactivate that feeling and that connection, and that relationship to relationships, and then bring that into the date that you're about to go on, for example. So in the next 1 to 2 months, you're absolutely going to be doing that. You're going to be 100% in your power. This has no chance. This resistance has no chance whatsoever. And you're going to be communicating that power, and you're going to be communicating that power incredibly well. So you're going to come across as someone who's 100% capable, very smart, very determined, very motivated, very keen and eager to move forward. I can't see an employer not wanting to hire you. I can't see a partner not wanting to explore your depths deeper and get to know you better in a relationship, or even if it's a friendship, it could be a friendship that we're talking about as well. You're going to absolutely own it. And that's why I wanted to turn this leadership around, because you're so close, so close. It's just a little tweak, one little tweak, and it's not going to be that hard, and you're going to overcome this. And you're either going to get the old job back or the old relationship back, or you're going to get a new and better one, a new and better job, or a new and better relationship, because you've developed a new relationship with you. You've chosen yourself first. You've chosen to love yourself first. Now you're going to be choosing to stand in your own power and own your power and own the room. You're so connected with your higher self. You've already had past life activation. So again, if you've had any dreams or insights or can't even say the word, intuitions or intuitive nudges is I think what I'm trying to say, moving you in a direction that you possibly wouldn't have gone in, letting you have perspectives of situations that you haven't had in the past. That's all you becoming activated and you coming online and you connecting in with your highest and strongest version of yourself. It's already begun to happen. Okay, so I'm just going to close this off with some channel messages and see what else comes through. I'm going to take a drink too. Okay, let's channel in. Very powerful. And the power you hold is your ability to influence others. That is your power that you hold. And you naturally emit that. People just feel it, they sense it when you walk into a room. There's just something about you. You're that person that people call like a triple threat. You're so talented, so witty. You have this beauty and sensuality about you that just people just get drawn to. They look at you and almost look mesmerized when they look at you. And this is you standing into your highest and truest self and strongest self. This is you that you are becoming now. Very magnetic, very capable, very powerful. But you are accessing a lot of power, a lot of spiritual power, and it's moving through you. And perhaps that's what you're having trouble articulating with these thoughts. It's like, really, I'm sensing that power. I'm feeling it. It's starting to come online. But do I believe it? Because it's not in alignment with who I've believed myself to be up until now. The perspective is still changing. It's still undergoing that change, but you will do it and you will become it. You will own it. You'll be it. Okay, I'll see if there's anything else. You have a lot of past loved ones connected with you now. Perhaps a past mother or grandmother who was really supporting you now, especially in the feminine sense, activating the feminine side of you, which will balance out this masculine here. Again, highly linked to pile 2. And helping you in this stage of your life. It's a more mature stage, but it's more spiritually mature stage. And I'll just see if there's one more thing. I usually like to get 3 things. It does feel like there's a man in your life that can help you right now. And because I'm seeing the man in a coin, but it's either a man who can help you financially or a man who is quite financially well off but can help you maybe in a different way. So look out for that. There's someone or someone of a masculine nature who has money. Whether they're going to help you with money or whether they're going to help you in a different way, it's not clear. It's just someone, a man with money, is in your life right now, and they can help you in some way. They can help you move forward. They can help leverage you. They can maybe give you a good reference, for example. Someone who possibly knows someone or is connected to someone who you're supposed to meet, your future partner, or the future boss, or future, if you want to go into business with someone. There is a guy that can help you right now, because you've just created this new perspective of your life. You've lined up with that and you're now ready for it. You just got to tell yourself that and remind yourself that. That's it. That's it. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I love ending the third reading, the third pile, on such a positive note, such a powerful note, and connecting in with your energy. It's great to see people who are actually starting to really come into their power and own their power and know it and bring that into this world. The world needs it, and the world needs you. So thank you so much. If you liked it, like, share, subscribe, put a comment in the comment section if you feel invited to do that, or feel moved to do that. If you have an idea for any future reads, put that in the comment section below and I'll absolutely do that for you. But until I do my next read next week, I say, oh, okay, thank you, and bye.